You don't need thousands of followers to sign clients. In fact, I've seen people turn just 500 followers into consistent sales. And today I'm going to show you how. If you're currently getting sales through word of mouth and referrals, and now you're using social media in order to increase your sales, but your following is low, then this live will help you. Today I'm talking about how to get clients with only 300 followers. Oh, I'm doing that. I'm pointing to my screen on TikTok. There's a text on the screen, right? So that's what I'm talking about today. How you can get clients with only 300 followers. This live is for the six-figure coach where you already have a following on social media, but you don't know how to convert them into customers. I'm going to show you how in this live. This live is also for the ambitious business owner where you're capped between 8 to 10K months. You don't know. You've already built a successful business through word of mouth and referrals, but you don't know what to say in your videos to get your audience to buy. I'm going to talk about that in this live today. I want to thank you all for tuning in and coming into this live today. As you're coming in, grab your notebook, grab your pen, take note, take action, make some money, honey. Why? Because action takers are money makers, not time wasters. We're going to be together today for about 1 hour, and I'm going to be dropping a lot of gems to show you how to get clients with only 300 followers, right? I've had clients that had less than 1,000 followers, less than 500 followers, and they were able to get clients. So I'm going to walk you through the strategies so that you can have it as well. Who am I? I'm Shamara Star Cox, TV producer and marketing coach. My goal is to help 6 and 7 figure business owners get seen and get paid by creating binge-worthy videos on social media so that now you can be able to scale your business to 30K months and beyond. As you're coming in, if you are a business owner, feel free to drop the name of your business in the chat so I can go ahead and shout you out. If you are not a business owner, but you want to stick around, that's cool, you can. But this live is particularly for business owners where you want to learn how to use social media in order to grow your following and in order to get sales for your business. But you can stick around if you do want to get motivated as well. And there's one thing that I ask all of my followers and viewers to do, which is for you to come into the room. So if you're watching on TikTok, right, there's two ways you can watch on TikTok. You can watch outside the room or you can watch in the room. When you come into the room, it helps us to build up our engagement as you're liking the screen, as you are sharing out the video, as you are commenting. That helps TikTok to push the live out. If you're tuning in on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Instagram, same thing, right? The more you engage with this live, the more social media is going to push it out. And so, because I'm going to be dropping a lot of gems for you, I do ask you to share this live out. I'm pretty sure you know some business owners who also need help with their social media marketing, who also need help with getting leads and sales. And I'm just going to ask you to share this live with them, right? All you have to do is hit the arrow at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, invite your friends, invite your family, invite other business owners into this live. And as you're coming in, engage. You know, you can like this live video. You can ask your questions. Anyone who's coming in here asking about your content, asking about why your views are low, why your following is low, why you're not getting sales, you're doing all the right things, but you're still not getting sales, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer. Why? Because I like to teach all of my live videos like they are master classes, which means that I'm not going to be giving you fluff. The things that I teach my clients is what I'm also teaching you in here. Okay, so again, today I'm going to talk about how you can get clients from your content, even with 300 followers, right? Even if you have less than 1,000 followers, I'm going to show you how you can get clients from your content. These are the strategies that I share with my clients as well, so that you can get it too. So I want to share this quick story and then I'll go ahead and share the 3 tips. So again, if you're coming in and you want to grab your notebook so you can take notes, feel free to do that. So when I first started posting content on social media, it took off fast. Like I was kind of shocked too, right? My videos went viral and I went viral on Instagram and TikTok, right? I got millions of views, hundreds of thousands of views, and my following was able to grow quickly. And in doing that, people actually was interested in what I was selling. Only thing is, I was nervous to sell. Any of you ever been there before? Where like you're afraid to sell because you don't want to sound salesy, you don't want to scare people off. Like that's where I was. And so people will book calls with me so that they can get a content strategy. They can be able to understand like what it was that I'm selling. And while I'm on these sales calls, I'm fumbling the bag. I mean, I'm stumbling over my words. I'm so nervous. I'm freaking out. Like, how many of you have ever been there for you? Some of you, it may not be a sales call. Some of you, it may be you actually on video where it comes time for you to mention your price and you start stumbling over your price. It may be time for you to ask for the sale and you start stumbling over your words, right? That's exactly where I was. And I remember one time I was in the car. Oh, and so because of that, I wasn't actually closing the sales. So people were seeing my content, but then when it came to being on my sales call, I wasn't actually closing because because I was so nervous, right? And so one day I did one of my sales calls in the car with my friend, and she heard me messing up, fumbling over everything. And when I got off the call, she said, Star, I'm going to tell you right now, you don't have to do all of that. Your content is pre-selling for you. Already, your audience already wants to buy from you. All you have to do is just tell them how they can work with you. And I said, okay. And I did that. I got it into my mind that my content was doing all the work. My content was doing all the selling for me so that by the time my audience came to me, they were ready to buy. And you know what happened? It worked. I booked my first 5K client. Then I made $1,000 in just 3 days from twiddling my thumbs. And next thing you know, I was building a six-figure business. I made $117,000 in just 1 year, all because my content was doing the heavy lifting for me. There were times that I was on the beach in St. Lucia, just taking in the sun and sipping on a cocktail and booking a 5K client because my content was doing the work for me. And you know what I learned? I learned that social media is a reliable source of leads and revenue. Social media is a reliable source of leads and revenue. Hey, Rowan, thank you so much for joining from Malaysia. Truly appreciate you. Right. And so my question to you is, no, it's not even really a question, it's a statement. When your content is done right, your content becomes your biggest and bestest salesperson, speaking for you, building trust on your behalf, and pre-selling your offer before anyone gets on a call with you, before they even head to your bio. They get to see your content, and your content does the heavy lifting for you. Whether you're a life coach, whether you're a business coach, a consultant, or you provide a service, if you're tired of creating content that gets views but not many buyers, followers who clap but rarely clicks, then you already know that you need to fire your content. Some of you are probably like, I didn't know I need to fire my content. Yes, you need to fire your content if it's not bringing in the clients that you desire. If it's not bringing in the sales that you desire, fire your content. This is something that I taught my audience probably about 4 years ago. No, 2 years ago, right? And I was able to bring in new clients because I told them, fire your content. It's not working for you. I want you to think about your content like this. You are the employer and your content is the employee. Your content should be going out, speaking on your behalf, and bringing people to you so that they can buy from you. If it's not doing that, fire it. And so I had a client come to me before she was my client. She saw me on my live video, just like a lot of you did. And you know what? She listened. She fired her content and then she joined my content to cash challenge. And we showed her how to create new content. And you know what the results were? She got 10 sales in 1 month. 10 sales in 1 month. What would 10 sales do for you in 1 month? Especially if you're selling something that is $1,000. If you're selling something that is $10,000, 10 sales in 1 month is $100K month, right? So, what I want to do is I want to invite you to join us in the AI Content to Cash Challenge so that you can learn how to create content that sells in 5 days or less. Our goal is to show you how to use AI tools so you can create content faster and be able to get to your sales much faster. That is the goal. So if you're in here and you're like, that's exactly what I need, because I have been putting out my content, my views have been low, my engagement has been low, and I'm not attracting the leads and the sales that I desire, then feel free to DM me the word challenge accepted, and I'll personally send you an invite to the challenge. If you are watching on Instagram, TikTok, or LinkedIn, you can feel free to DM me. But if you are watching on YouTube, there is no DM feature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the VIP into the chat right now so that you can get access to it, and it is displayed on the screen at content2cashchallenge.com/VIP. The first 5 people to get access to the VIP ticket of the challenge will get early access to our AI Content Generator Pro. This AI Content Generator Pro will create the content ideas for you. It will write your scripts for you. It will write your captions for you and write your hooks and headlines for you, right? And so we're doing this on purpose because I know what it's like to be creating content and running out of ideas. I know what it's like to have a lot of information in your head, but don't know how to get that into a 1-minute video. So what did I do? I created the AI Content Generator Pro specifically for you. It does the work for you. It'll write your video scripts for you. But again, you can only get access to it when you're one of the first 5 people to sign up for the VIP in the AI Content to Cash Challenge. All right. Rohan says, I own a business called Flower Child. I sell herbal cigarettes. Most of my social media content that has ads keeps getting banned. Yeah, Rohan, because you're selling cigarettes online, which is not good for ads. If you're trying to make money from ads, it's going to get demonetized because of you selling cigarettes. If you shifted it, like if it's herbal cigarettes, which I'm thinking there's no tobacco in it, is there actual tobacco in it, or is it mainly for healing? If it's for healing, you want to position it and say that it's for healing. But the other thing, Rohan, that you want to think about is you want to think about, do I want to make money from ads or do I want to make money from my clients? If you want to make money from your clients, then it doesn't matter if your content gets demonetized, right? Because you're not selling for ads. But if you want to make money from ads, then you want to shift your content and probably focus more on healing. And then that way you can actually make money from ads. Okay. Oh, I just told you. So Ron was asking a question. I hope I'm saying your name right too. My brother-in-law's name is Rohan. I'm Jamaican, so we say Rohan, right? But I see your name, it says Rowan. So let me know if I'm pronouncing your name right. But Rowan asked the question, how do I make the sale? What angle do I take? So I just gave you 2 options depending on if you wanted to, he's actually on YouTube right now, right? So if you actually wanted to make money from ads, you want to shift your angle to focus on healing and not actually focus on the cigarettes, right? Now, if you want to make money from the herbal cigarettes, I don't really know what herbal cigarettes are. So if you want to give me some more details on it, but if you want to make money from herbal cigarettes, I'm assuming it has to do with healing people, right? So if you focus on healing your audience and show them that you have a product that can help them to heal, then that will help. Now, if herbal cigarettes is not what I think it is, maybe it's like marijuana or something, then I won't really be able to help you with that. I help you sell products and services, but I am not someone who helps you with selling marijuana. If you are a psychic, I don't help you with that either because of my faith, right? It's just what I believe. It goes against what I believe in and my faith. So that's why I won't be able to help you with that. But if it is a healing product, then I can help you with that. Oh, okay. I said it right. Rowan. Okay, good. Hey, Kwanda, how you doing? Ron says, they are herbal smokes made with food grade flowers like lavender. Oh, okay. Blue lotus. Right. Exactly. So you want to focus on the benefit of the herbal. Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you, Ron. Right. So you want to focus on the benefits of the herbal cigarettes, right? So it's made with lavender and blue lotus, right? But what does that do? Does it add a calming effect? Does it help to heal, right? So notice I keep bringing up healing because that's something that's really big. Right. So great questions. Great questions. Anyone else, if you have any questions about your business, about your content, feel free to drop the questions in the chat. I'm totally fine with answering your questions. Right. So today I'm going to talk about how to get clients from your how to get clients from your content, even with 300 followers. Doesn't matter what platform you're on, whether you're on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, or YouTube, these strategies will work for you, right? So one of my clients, right? Her name is Maria Olen, and I'm going to be sharing her story a little bit later. She got 9 clients and she only has 498 followers on Instagram, right? Hey, NP Mentor, how you doing? She only has 498 followers. So she has less than 500 followers on Instagram, but she still was able to get 9 clients within 2 months, 6 clients in 1 month, 3 clients in the next month, right? So some of you are like, how does she do that? Because some of you right now, you have 2,000 followers. Some of you have 10,000 followers. Some of you have 100,000 followers, and you're not really sure how you can be able to get clients from your content. And I'm going to show you exactly how she was able to do it. Here's the first tip. If you're taking notes, this is the first tip. The first tip is shift your mindset about audience size. Shift your mindset about audience size. You don't need thousands of followers to get clients. You just need the right ones. Right. And so, as I said with Marie-Yolene, she doesn't have thousands of followers. She actually has less than 500 followers, but her focus is on speaking to the right people so that they would want to buy. So, as Ron was writing in the chat, Ron said, what is the angle that I need to use in order to sell? That was a great question. Hey, Doina, how you doing? That was a great question because a lot of you right now, the reason why you're not getting sales is because you don't have the right sales angle. Right. And so, as I was sharing with Rowan, I said, you want to focus on healing. You don't have to focus on healing, but healing is really big. So, if your herbal cigarettes can help people to heal, like talk about the benefits. And this is something that Marie-Yolene does. So Marie-Yolene is a financial mentor. She helps lawyers, doctors, career professionals who make six figures or more, multiple six figures in their life, in their business, no, not in their business, in their career, but they still feel like they're living paycheck to paycheck because of some type of money trauma. That's what she does, right? And so what does she do? She shows up as someone who can help them heal their finances. And in doing that, she was able to book 9 clients with only less than 500 followers, right? Yes, thank you. Doina says, I'm here to learn wisdom from the best. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Right. And that is because she focused on a specific angle, which was being able to help her clients to heal their money trauma so that they can save more money and make more money. That was her angle, right? And so in doing that, she was able to book her clients. So for some of you who are thinking, and I've met a lot of people like this who have told me the reason why I'm not selling yet is because I don't have enough followers yet. But really, that is just an excuse not to sell. You don't need to have 10,000 followers to sell. You don't even need to have 1,000 followers to sell. A lot of my clients, not a lot of them, some of my clients have less than 1,000 followers and they are able to sell and get clients, right? And it's because of the angle. So I want you to think about, what is the angle that I'm going to use to sell to my audience? What is it that I need to say in my videos to get my audience to buy? And here is the biggest thing. You want to focus on the benefits. What do I mean by that? The benefits is the result that your dream client is going to get. Some of you, the reason why people aren't buying from you is because you're not clearly stating the result, right? I want to give examples of life coaches. If you are a life coach, some of you say things like, I help you discover your purpose. I help you to feel confident. I help you to, excuse me, I help you to walk in your destiny. The only thing is, these are very vague words. What does discovering your purpose mean? What does knowing your identity mean? What does walking in your destiny mean? Because it is so vague, your audience is walking away thinking, oh, okay, whatever, that's cool, But how can you get clearer, right? And so here's one thing that I do, and this is one thing that I teach all of my clients, is I go to ChatGPT, or you can use any AI tool for this, right? You can use Chat, you can use Claude.ai, you can use Stanley. I have been enjoying Stanley. Hey, Sports Buzz, how you doing? I've been enjoying Stanley. If some of you don't know about it, Stanley.ai is by StanStore. And I feel like the writing, the copywriting has been a lot better than ChatGPT, right? But you can use any AI tool that you want. Some of you may be using Cintra. You can feel free to use it. But I would take that vague language, right? And I would just ask my AI tool, what does this look like for my clients? So if you're a life coach and you're telling people, I help you to discover your purpose, take that and put it in ChatGPT and say, what does this look like for my dream clients? What is the specific example? What is the exact situation that they are in when they receive this? And then ChatGPT will start giving you examples like, well, now they'll know exactly what career they should be in, and they'll actually go after it. They'll be confident in negotiating their salaries. They'll be confident in going out and dating again, right? You want the exact result that your audience is going to get, that you're going to help them to get, and talk about that in your content. Why is that? Because on social media alone, I don't have the exact numbers now, but some of it. On YouTube, there are 2.5 billion users on YouTube, 2 billion on Instagram. I think roughly maybe like 1.8 billion on TikTok and about 1 billion on LinkedIn. That's so many users on social media. And about 30% of those users are business owners vying for the attention of their clients, just like you. So if you are putting out content that sounds generic, if you are putting out content that sounds vague, your content, when it gets posted, sounds like this in the ears of your dream client. It sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher. Nobody understood her, and nobody's going to understand you either. So your job is to be super clear in the content that you are putting out. Okay, Doina says that money trauma is so real. Yes, clarity leads to cash. Come on, honey. You better, that is some gems right there. I always say clarity leads to confidence, confidence leads to content, and content leads to cash. And that's true. That's how you're going to be able to get your sales. All right. So we're talking about how to get clients from your content, even with 300 followers. And the first tip I gave you was to shift your mindset about your audience size. You don't need a large following just to convert. Here's another thing I want you to shift about your view side, about your view count. There are some of you in here who are thinking that you need to have a lot of views in order for you to get sales, but it's not true. I also show my clients how you can monetize even with low views. My videos that have gone viral, I've gotten views of 1.4 million views on my videos. I've gotten 200 and something thousand views on videos, right? Ask me how much money I've made from it. Just ask me. Hey, Star, how much money have you made from your viral videos? $0. $0. But the content that I've gotten 300 views, I've gotten 600 views, less than 1,000 views, I've made $900 from. I've made $1,200 from, right? So the goal isn't just to get views. You want to make sure that you're getting views from the people who want to buy from you. So shifting that mindset, you don't need a large following and you don't need a large views in order for you to get your sales. Now, is it nice to have large following? Absolutely. I'm not telling you not to grow your followers because in all actuality, you need that. Your following, you having a large following actually shows your authority. What do I mean by that? Have you ever followed like Gary Vee or Alex Hormozi or even Layla Hormozi, right? And some of you are following them just because they have a lot of followers. Just because they have a lot of followers, we look at them as gurus. We look at them as people we should listen to. Alex Hormozi had a launch where he made $105 million in 2 days. That was his goal, right? And I know so many people who have gone to that launch and actually purchased the product, right? His product was like $100 million funnel or something like, or $100 million strategy, right? And so many people have bought it. Even some of my clients have bought his strategy, right? But let me tell you this. If Alex did not have all his followers, do you really think that people were going to buy that? Would they even have listened? No, they bought it because he had so many followers. And so in their and they've seen his success. So it's not just his followers. They've seen his success before. So that he already has built his authority from that. Right? So it is good to have a lot of following, but I'm just letting you know you don't have to have it just to get your sales. You can start getting sales right now. Right? Okay. Let's see. I want to give another example of one of my former clients. Her name is Natalie. She is a business clarity coach. She had less than 1,000 followers, and she was able to book clients. We taught her a strategy to get her audience to binge content from her. And so what do? They started binging. And from them binging her content, they bought. So one person actually came to her and said, because I binge your content, I knew that you were my coach. And I went ahead and purchased from you. This person never booked a sales call. This person never downloaded a freebie, never joined her email list. They just went to her bio and purchased a session with her, and all because of her content. So what's really doing the heavy lifting is your content. Great content does 3 things. It pre-sells your audience, it primes your audience, and it persuades your audience. Who's taking notes today? Right? Great content does 3 things. It pre-sells your audience, it primes your audience, and it persuades your audience. So what does that mean? The first thing, when you're putting out content, Your content should already be helping your audience to make a buying decision. That's the pre-selling part. So it should be pre-selling your audience so that when they see it, they're like, okay, I know who I want to work with and I want to work with you. The second thing, prime your audience. There are some people who are following you right now who are not yet ready to buy. So your content should continue to nurture them. Some of you, you're putting out content that only says hi to your audience. It only catches their attention, but it doesn't actually nurture a relationship with them. Some of you, especially when you're a speaker or you have a lot of wisdom and knowledge or a lot of experience, some of you are putting out content that is constantly telling your audience what they're doing wrong. And you know what's happening with your audience? They feel like you are lecturing them. And the goal isn't to lecture your audience. The goal is to create conversations. They want to feel like they are part of a community. So how do you do that? By putting out content that actually speaks their language. When you're putting out content, you don't want to talk like you're better than or higher than your audience. I've had clients who've come into my challenge where that's exactly how they sounded in their content. And I had to shift them. And they didn't want to believe me. They were just thinking to themselves, no, I don't want to dumb down what I have to say. But it's not about dumbing it down. It's about creating conversations so that your audience can relate to you. I want you to think about Jesus. When Jesus was walking this earth, he grew his following very largely. Hey, Valerie, how you doing? Right? And he was able to do that because he walked with his people. He shared stories that they could actually relate to. He's God, but he never came off like I'm better than you. He came off to dwell with them, right? And so for you, when you're putting out your content, you don't want to come off like you're better than your audience. You want to develop that relationship. You want to nurture that relationship. So as I was saying that great content does three things. It pre-sells your audience, it primes them, and it nurtures them, right? So it pre-sells, primes, and it persuades them. The last one, persuade, means it helps them to buy from you. It helps them to buy from you. Now, some of you in here, you're nervous to sell because you feel like you have to convince and you feel like you have to force and you feel like you have to pull them. The difference between convincing and persuading is that your audience has already made the buying decision. They already know, I want to buy and I want to buy from you. When you're persuading, the only thing you're doing is you're giving them the invitation. You're showing them how they can buy from you. And some of you keep missing this step because you think you're bothering your audience. You think that you are annoying them. If you reach out to them in DMs, you think, oh my goodness, it feels like I'm talking to a stranger. Or I feel icky. I don't want them to feel like I'm trying to get something from them. But what if you shifted your mindset from trying to get something from to I want to get something to them? Your whole goal of you starting your business is to be able to serve your audience, and you can't serve them unless you get something to them. That's you as the business owner. How can I serve? How can I get this to them? If you are a healing coach, how can I get this healing to them? If you are a relationship coach, how can I get them to have healthier relationships? If you are a business coach, how can I get them to build this wealth? You want to get something to them, not from them. And when you shift the mindset, selling becomes very simple. Duina says, it makes sense because the content helps them trust you. They get to see your brilliance. That part. Ron says, is having a face to the content good? Do people lean towards products or human connection? Ron, that's a really great question. So I'm very much for face content, right? Like you people actually seeing your face on your content. Why? Because it's easier to build trust. It's easier to build trust. People buy from people, right? And when they see your face, it's the fastest way for them to build trust with you because they are seeing you. Now, that doesn't mean that faceless content doesn't work. I have a good friend where she teaches how to build faceless content and how to get sales from it, right? She built a million follower business, business page. Oh, I guess it was a very successful business too from faceless content. That was one of the first things she did, right? However, when you're putting out faceless content, there is a strategy to it. You got to make sure that your copy is strong enough to build the trust and the relationship, right? So notice the thing that I keep on saying, relationship. That's the purpose of your content, to build relationships with your audience. If your content isn't building relationship, guess what's going to happen? No sales, no followers, low views. So you want to shift. Does this content build relationship? So I remember when I first started going viral, right? Everything was going great, and then it stopped. I felt like a complete pull, like someone just put an anvil on my content that stopped its reach. And I remember going to God and I said, Lord, what's going on? Why am I not growing anymore? And God said, you need to create to relate. Create to relate. People don't just want to follow you just to follow you. They want a deep relationship with you. Do we have any Christians on the line? If you're not a Christian, it's okay. Hey, Chanel, how you doing, honey? If you're not a Christian, it's okay. But if you are a Christian, you'll understand this, right? That Jesus right now is still growing his following. Why? Because of the personal relationship that he has with each of his followers, right? And to me, he is the best marketeer in the world because he has ascended over 2,000 years ago and he's still growing his following. And it's because of that personal relationship. You can truly succeed at your content when you can build personal relationship through your content. Why is this important? Because as you grow your following and you gain millions of followers, it's going to be hard for you to try to build a personal relationship one-on-one. When you're selling through word of mouth and referrals, you can build personal relationships one-on-one, but it's very slow and it's very low. It's very little. When you start to grow massively on a larger scale, that personal relationship needs to come through your videos. What do I mean by that? I'll give you an example. Will Smith is my godbrother. Not really, but it feels like it because of his content, because of his movies, because of his shows. I feel like I know him personally. That's the type of relationship you want to build through your content with your audience. And you do that by creating conversational content with your audience, right? So when Maria Land and when Natalie was able to get their clients from a little bit of following, it's because they created relationships through conversation. So I want you to look at your content today and I want you to think about, am I talking at my audience or am I talking with my audience? There's a huge difference. Now, I want to give you this tip for those of you who are on LinkedIn. This is a LinkedIn tip. If you download Stanley.ai, right? That's the tool that I like to use. It is amazing. Stanley.ai has a 3-day trial, and then it's $97 a month after that, but it is worth it. If you download Stanley.ai and you connect it to your LinkedIn, so Stanley is one of probably the first AI tool that you can specifically connect to your LinkedIn, and it will be able to analyze your content for you. Why do I like this? Because ChatGPT can't do that. With ChatGPT, if you're on LinkedIn or any other social media tool, you have to download your analytics, feed it to Chat, and Chat cannot see your content. So Chat can only go off of the numbers, but Stanley.ai can actually see your content on LinkedIn. It can see the photos that you're posting. It can see the carousels, the quotes that you're posting. It can read your captions and it will analyze the content for you and it will tell you how to shift. It will let you know if you're talking at your clients, your audience, or talking with your audience. It will let you know if you're being conversational and personal or if you are being too much of a lecturer, right? And let me tell you, it has helped me shift. When I started using it, my impressions increased on LinkedIn and my comments increased on LinkedIn, which was my goal, right? So that is a tool just for LinkedIn, right? You can also use it for YouTube, but it doesn't really see videos as much. So it can only really assess your titles and your thumbnails, but it won't really be able to assess deep analysis of your content like it does on LinkedIn. So that's Stanley.ai. I'll drop it right here in the chat. For those of you who are watching on LinkedIn and YouTube, you can actually see it. I actually should have put my affiliate link in there. Okay, Duina says, I learned that from the best. I follow Star and learned from her. Thank you so much, Duina, for sharing that. It's super powerful. Okay, so for those of you who are in here, you're like, oh my goodness, this is great. This is exactly what I needed. Because I am not talking to I'm not creating conversations for my audience. That's why they're not following me. That's why they're not buying. I want to go ahead and invite you again to the AI. I feel like something's in my mouth. To the AI Content to Cash Challenge. In this challenge, we show you how to create content that actually speaks to your dream audience, right? We show you how to create content that actually creates conversations so that your audience would want to follow you. And that's the goal, how to share stories that empower your audience to want to buy. How to share your story that gets your audience to see, oh, this is how you can help me. Now, if you have been struggling with low views on your content, you can't grow your following, you don't know how to sell to your audience, you're currently getting sales through word of mouth and referrals, and you want to use social media to make a bigger impact, then this challenge is for you. This challenge is for business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, and service providers where you have a product, it's probably $1,000 or more. That's what we help. Excuse me, you have a service, it's probably $1,000 or more. That's what we help you to sell your high ticket services on social media through your videos so that you don't have to go to every single networking event there is on the planet. Instead, you can put out your video content that will attract your audience as well. If you want to join us, DM me the word challenge accepted. Also send me your email address if you are on TikTok, because on TikTok I can't send you a clickable link, but on Instagram, LinkedIn, I can. If you're watching on YouTube, you can go ahead and select this website right here, which is content2cashchallenge.com/VIP. Again, the first 5 people to sign up will get exclusive access to the AI Content Generator Pro. How many of you start out putting the content, you start out strong posting your content, and then you run out of content ideas? You shoot your videos, and then you don't know what to write in your captions. Well, the AI Content Generator Pro does all of that for you. It comes up with the content ideas, it writes your scripts, it writes your captions, and I'm giving it away to you as a complimentary gift for the first 5 people to sign up for VIP for the AI Content to Cash Challenge. Now, we have 2 levels for the challenge. We have VIP and we have Diamond Experience. The challenge is a live challenge. So we're with you Monday through Friday, October 6th. That's when we're kicking off. We're with you for that challenge live. So this is not you being added to a Facebook group where you never see the coach. No, I'm with you personally on Zoom. I am looking at your content. I am answering your questions, and I'm giving you content strategies that is specific to your business and your industry, right? Now, that's at the VIP level. For the Diamond Experience, you get all of that, plus you get exclusive access to a elite content strategy session with me. And in that session, you can get that session as early as tomorrow, right? So we're launching that session as early as tomorrow. Once you sign up, you get access to the link so you can book your call with me. And in that session, what we do is we help you to identify who your dream audience is. Who are these people that you need to speak to? And what is their language so that when you're putting out your content, you're actually speaking directly to them, right? So again, that's only for the Diamond Experience members. And that's for the people who value exclusivity. So you don't just want to be in the room, you want exclusive attention on your content. That's the Diamond Experience. All right. So let's go on to our next thing. I'm talking about, for those of you who are just joining us, I'm talking about how to get clients from your content, even with 300 followers. The first tip I gave you was to shift your mindset about audience size. You don't need to have thousands of followers just to get your sales. You can have less than 1,000 and still get your sales by creating content that creates conversations with your audience so that they can actually buy. Why? Because conversations lead to conversions. The next tip is content is currency. Can somebody write that in the chat? Content is currency. So I want you to understand that your content can sell for you. Your content can make money for you. However, if you don't believe it, you won't actually do what it takes for you to actually get the sales, right? So there are some of you where you're putting out your content, but you're afraid to sell because you don't want to embarrass yourself. You're afraid to be rejected. But let me tell you this. Every post is either an expense because it's costing you time and energy, or it's an investment because you're bringing in leads and clients. So I'm going to say that one more time. Every post is either an expense or it's an investment. An expense because it's costing you time and energy, an investment because it's bringing in leads and clients. You have to choose which side you want to be on. What side do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the side where you're putting out content and it's costing you something? Or do you want to be on the side where you're putting out content and you are bringing in something? You're bringing in an investment, right? So, in order for you to be on the side where you're bringing in an investment, you're bringing in leads and clients, you got to get out of your own way. You got to get out of your own head. Either you making sales or you making excuses. Which one are you? I want you to write that in the chat. Which one are you? Are you making sales or are you making excuses? People who are making sales, that you are doing whatever it takes by any means necessary to get your sales. Whether you are working with a coach, whether you are testing your content, you're testing your hooks, you're shifting the stories that you're putting out, and you're being consistent, no matter what it takes. Even if your kids start crying and you got to take care of them, even if you have a lot of clients, because I'll see business owners tell me, I want to make money with my content, but don't want to put in the time to do it. You're focused more on working your 9 to 5. You're focused more on helping your clients. But here's the thing, nothing wrong with helping your clients. But what happens when your client list plateaus? What happens when you stop bringing in clients? You want your content to always work on your behalf so you can always bring in the clients. That's one, right? For those of you, those people who are making excuses, those are the ones that anytime something happens, they come up with an excuse. Oh, my child got sick, so I couldn't shoot today. It's people who put on your makeup, you put on your makeup, you get dressed, and then you don't shoot because you start checking emails. And then something always comes up. Every time you're getting ready to shoot your content, or every time you're about to go live, something always comes up. That's making excuses. So what do you want to do? You want to shift your mindset and really identify what is hindering me from getting the sales. And sometimes what's hindering you is not the fact that you're not posting the content. Sometimes what's hindering you is that you have a fear of selling. Typically, when I'm attracting my audience, it's because they have a fear of selling. But let me tell you this right now. If you have a fear of selling and you don't ever overcome it, you will never build a successful business. There will not be a lot of people who come to you and just say, I want to buy from you. Some people you actually have to sell to. Some people you actually have to tell them, here's the invitation to buy. There are some people who are following you right now that they don't even know you're a business owner. Some of you have written books that only your family members and your friends have bought. And you're posting content on social media and people aren't buying because they don't even know that you're selling something. You got to get out of your own way. Get out of your own way. Get out of your own head, right? So if you have a fear of sounding salesy, you have a fear of being judged, you have a fear of perfectionism or even imposter syndrome, I want you to understand that it's preventing you from accessing greater wealth. It's trying to keep you small so that you don't actually bring in the wealth that is deserved to you. I'm talking to people on here where you are called to be a millionaire. Who in here has been called to be a millionaire? Drop a me in the chat. Who in here has been called to be a billionaire? Drop a me in the chat. Who in here has been called to build generational wealth for your family? And not just your family, but for other families. Drop a me in the chat. If you're shaking your head right now, like, yes, that's me, but you have a fear of selling, that's the enemy trying to keep you small. That fear is trying to keep you small. And it is time for you to let it go. Because the reality is, on the other side of your sales is wealth. On the other side of your sales is wealth. Sales, thank you, Doina. Doina is the only one who wrote me in the chat. Of all the people who are watching this live, Doina is the only one who wrote me in the chat, which means we only got one millionaire and billionaire in this room today. Well, two, because I'm the other one, right? The rest of you, I don't know, maybe you want to watch a different coach, but I like to talk to the millionaires and the billionaires, the ones who have been called to generate wealth, not just for you, but for your family and for families to come. That fear is trying to keep you stuck. The greatest skills that you could ever learn is selling and marketing, because you're going to need it. Whether you own a nonprofit, whether you write a book, whether you start a business, whether you're even trying to get into a relationship, you're going to need to market yourself and sell yourself to be in this relationship. I remember reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Robert Kiyosaki was talking about how a lady came to him. She was interviewing him. And she said, how did you become a best-selling author? And he told her, a New York Times best-selling author, that's what it was. And he said to her, he said, look at this book. What does this word say here? And he's pointing to the word that says selling. And she said, it says selling. He said, exactly. You're going to have to learn how to sell. And she got extremely offended. So offended. She was just like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be selling. He's like, this award doesn't say New York Times best author. It doesn't say New York Times best published author. It says New York Times best selling author. The greatest skills you will ever learn is marketing and selling, because you're going to need it for every area of your life. And it's what's going to help you to bring in the wealth, right? Because God wants to release this wealth to you. So I have a former client. Her name is Christina. And Christina is was a full-time employee, launched her business as a career coach. She helps men and women land their dream jobs, making 6 figures or more working from home. That's what she does. And before she started working with me, barely anyone was checking for her. However, when she started working with me, she told me that something was stopping her from going live. Something was also stopping her from posting content. So what did we have to do? We had to identify what was the thing that was hindering her. And do you know, the thing wasn't that she didn't have a camera. The thing wasn't that she didn't have enough followers. The thing wasn't that she didn't have the right lighting. You know what the thing was? It was her. It was inside. She had imposter syndrome. And it was showing up every time she needed to go live, every time she needed to post her videos. So what did we do? We identified it. Do you know where her imposter syndrome came from? It didn't come from her posting content. It didn't come from her working her business either. Working her job either. It actually came from trauma that she experienced as a young adult. Do you know the reason why some of you aren't posting your content right now is not because of what's happening right now, but it's because of the rejection you experienced as a child. It's because of the rejection or the abandonment that you experienced in your 20s. That's the reason why you're not showing up right now. So when we were able to help her to identify this, we helped her to heal from it. Do you know what happened afterwards? Her video went viral. She grew to over 40,000 followers, gained 300 new email subscribers, got 10 sales, and was booked up for 2 months with discovery calls. Booked up. Those were her results in 2024. Do you know that we haven't worked together since then? And even after my program, her content is still converting. She just gave me another testimony and said, I booked 3 clients in 1 week, just 2 weeks ago, from content she posted when we started working together. So this is not strategies that just works, one time. It works forever. But in order for it to work, you got to identify what is hindering you from building your wealth. I'll give another example. Shanice, when she came into our challenge, she had a fear of selling, but she didn't know it. Day 1 of the challenge, she was ready to sell. Day 2 of the challenge, she was ready to sell. We don't teach you how to sell in your videos until day 4 of the challenge. So on day 4, when we walked her through how to create a sales video, it came time for her to post it. And you know what happened? She froze. She didn't post it. And she came in the next day and she said, I don't know what happened. I was ready to post this video. And then something kept telling me they're not going to buy from you anyway. And I got scared and I froze. How many times has that happened to you? You're getting ready to go live and you hear a voice that says they're not going to show up anyway. You're getting ready to sell and you get on your sales call and you stumble over your price because you hear they're not going to buy anyway. That voice is a lie. And it is trying to hinder you from getting to your wealth. There are some of you who believe, you know what, I can just give away all my stuff for free because God's going to be the one to send the money. But how do you think he's sending you the money? It's not coming from thin air. It's the money that God promised that he would give you in your business is coming from the pockets of the clients that he's sending your way. That's how wealth is being transferred to you. Every person who comes, they are investing into your business. But you got to have the confidence to ask for it without stumbling over the price. And in order for you to do that, you got to address what is hindering you and tell that voice, shut up. I know I just woke some of y'all up. Tell that voice to shut up, shut it up. That voice that is telling you they're not going to buy, you're charging too high, they're never going to invest, you're not good enough, you're not worth it. Remember that time they laughed at you? Tell that voice to shut it up, because that is what's hindering you from actually selling. I know it because it happened to me. My very first offer was $97 because I was afraid to charge more than that. I had the mindset, the lower I charge, the more people I would reach. You know that that is not true. I actually learned along the way that I can make more money in a short amount of time than I ever could making less money in a longer period of time. And so ever since then, I started raising my prices. Was it easy? No, I was scared because I kept thinking people ain't gonna buy. But what did I do? I held my breath, I closed my eyes, and I raised that price anyway. And by faith, I put it out there. And you know what I learned? I learned that no matter what price you put on it, people will buy. No matter what price you put on it, people will buy. Do you want to know why? Two reasons. One, because you get better at selling. Selling is a skill. Don't think that you have to be born knowing how to sell. You have to learn it. Just like you learn how to tie your shoes, you learn how to sell. And you get better at selling. And do you know how you get better at selling? You get better at selling by selling. Okay? One of my coaches was Myron Golden, and I learned that from him. He said, how do you think you're going to get better at selling? By actually selling. The more I sold, the better at it I became. And guess what? I love it so much that now when it comes time to selling, I sing and dance to it. We have a whole dance and a song in the challenge on day 4 when it comes time to sell. It goes like this. It's time to sell, baby, sell. Sell, baby, sell. And everyone in the challenge, we all just start doing that. It's time to sell, baby, sell. Sell, baby, sell. That's it. That's all the energy you need, right? So that's the first thing. You learn the skill of selling. What was my second point? I forgot because I got too caught up in the song. Y'all got me over here all caught up in the song. I had 2 points to make. I don't remember the second point. It'll come back to me, right? Oh, yes, that was it. The second point, right? So the first point was why people will buy from you no matter what price you put on it. 1, because you learn how to sell. Number 2 is because there are already people who are waiting to buy from you, and they have their own number in their head of how much they're going to invest. They do. When I had an offer for $97, somebody bought it for $97. When I had an offer for $475, someone bought it for $475. When I had an offer for $5,000, someone bought it for $5,000. When I had an offer for $7,500, someone bought it for $7,500. When I had an offer for $10K, somebody bought it for $10K. Why? Because I had the offer, I had the price, and in their mind, they already had it in their mind that they were going to invest that much. So there are some of you where you're afraid to sell because you're counting the pockets of your people. You keep saying there's a recession out there, they can't afford it. Well, stop talking to broke people. Why in the world would you design a dream client? The whole point of a dream client is the fact that they are a dream, which means that they can afford your prices. So if you keep talking to people who are telling you it's a recession, I don't got no money, stop talking to them. It's as simple as that. Some of you keep thinking, oh, but I got to serve them. You don't got to do nothing. Nothing. You can shift your audience. Every time I went up in my price, my audience shifted. I know some coaches don't talk about that. It's so easy for us to talk about you increasing the price, but we never really talk about that. When you increase your price, you have to change your audience too. When I was selling my offer for $97, that was a particular type of audience that I attracted. When I raised my price to $5,000, I could no longer attract the $97 offer people. Why? Well, first of all, the people at $97, they had a poverty mindset. They wouldn't do the work. They believe that they should get everything for free. And that just because they were in my presence, things will magically happen. That's not how this life works. This life works on seed, time, and harvest. You actually have to sow. You actually have to wait for time to manifest, and then you will be able to harvest. So you just sowing and just waiting without any nurturing doesn't make any sense. When I raised my price to 5K, that weeded out the poverty mindset people. But guess who it did bring in? It brought in the lazy people. I know that sounds crazy. You would think that if someone invests $5,000 that they would have urgency. No. At 5K, I brought in a lot of people who wanted to be motivated but didn't want to do the work. So they will show up just to hear me motivate them. They would invest $5,000 just to be motivated. Okay? And never do the work. So what would happen? Nice that my business was growing, but I had no results from them. So it was hard to tell other people, here's how my program works. So what did I do? I raised the price to $7,500. At $7,500, I brought in people who didn't just want to be motivated, but they were hungry. They wanted to build wealth and they were ready. And I said, oh, I like this sweet spot. But then I had a crazy idea. I said, well, just maybe if they invest $7,500, would they also invest $10K? And I raised the price again, $10,000. And guess what? I didn't just bring in people who are hungry for it. I brought in people who are already successful and they wanted more success. And I learned a valuable lesson about raising my price. That when I raise my price, I also got to raise the standard of my audience. So some of you are over here like, oh, it's a recession and people aren't going to buy. Stop talking to them. Let someone else help them. There are certain people who are anointed to help broke people. I am not one of them. I am anointed to help billionaires. I am anointed to help people who are walking the path of a billionaire, of the path of being a wealthpreneur, of the path of someone who's going to generate wealth. Those are the people who are attracted to me. People with a poverty mindset, not attracted to me. They are probably offended by me because people with a poverty mindset, you rather hold on to the poverty mindset than to believe that you can build wealth. It's true. I see it in the churches all the time. I grew up in a church just like it. You rather believe that God wants you to be broke than to shift your faith to believing that he wants you to be wealthy. Never mind the fact that the Old Testament is filled with righteously rich people. Never mind the fact that in order for God to build the nation Israel, he had to make the founding fathers wealthy. Never mind that fact. Never mind the fact that in Genesis, it specifically says that, I don't have the exact scripture. It specifically says that God created gold and planted it in the land of Havilah. It specifically says that. What is gold? Money. And so if you get offended by my message, you probably have a poverty mindset, and it's okay. I'm not your coach. And I don't want to be. I like working with people where you have the mindset, I'm ready for more. I'm ready to scale. I'm ready for the next level because God gave you a dream that you can't do on your own. And you already know that. You recognize the value of walking with a mentor. You recognize the value of having a coach that's going to help you. So if you're in here and you're like, that's exactly what I've been waiting for, and I'm ready now. You're not ready 2 weeks from now. You're not ready 1 month from now. You're ready now because the dream that God gave you can no longer be on hold. The time is running out. Then join us in the challenge because in the challenge, in the AI Content to Cash Challenge, we show you how to manifest that dreams in your content so that now you are reaching your audience and scaling your business. And I mean scaling it beyond 10K months, scaling it to 30K months, 40K months and beyond. There are some of you who are tuning in right now where scaling financially isn't your only goal. You want to scale visually, visibility, because you're making impact locally. Your local community and your inner circle, they're being impacted, but you're ready to make an impact globally. Join us in the challenge because in the challenge is where we can show you how to create the content that reaches a larger audience. And all you have to do to join us is DM me the word challenge accepted, and I'll personally send you an invite to the challenge. If you're watching on YouTube, you can actually just secure your VIP ticket right now. I'll actually just redrop it in the chat. This is access to the VIP experience, and it's displayed on the screen, right? content2cashchallenge.com/VIP, because you're ready to build wealth now, not 2 weeks from now. You're ready to scale your business now, not 2 weeks from now. Because here's what's going to happen. There are some of you who feel motivated by this message. You absolutely love this message. You're like, oh my goodness, God, I've never heard this before. I like that you're talking about wealth. I love that she's talking about putting out content so you can make sales. I love it. And then you come off the live, and then you look at your bank account and you say to yourself, oh, I don't got money for that. And then what happens? 1 month from now, you're still in the same position. Why? Because you didn't even try to figure it out. Again, I'm not your coach. I'm the coach for the people who are like, I'm ready for this. Let's go. Let's go, because I know that I'm going to get results. I know that once I join this challenge, I will finally understand how I can put out video content that expands my reach, that actually gets me sales, and not just one sale. You can get sales from as low as 3 sales in the challenge. We've had people get 3 sales in the challenge, to you getting 60,000 leads and getting plenty of sales after the challenge ends. But it's up to you. If you're ready to join us now, DM the word challenge accepted to get access. Or if you're watching on YouTube or LinkedIn, the link is already displayed on the screen. Yes, Dowena wrote in the chat, the challenge is so worth it. Yes, Dowena joined us last year for the challenge, and she learned so much, and her content is doing great on YouTube. I still be seeing it, Dowena, still be popping up. Awesome. Dowena said, I learned so much from it myself. Star gives so much energy and knowledge that it's impossible not to win. That part. I've had someone ask me before, hey, Camilla, how you doing? I had someone ask me before, what if I go through the challenge and don't get results? And I say, it's impossible. It's impossible. The only way you will go through my challenge and not get any results is if you don't do any work. The way that the challenge is set up, it is an intensive for 5 days where we don't just teach you, but we show you how to implement. And that's where some of you get stuck, because you've joined this coaching program before, you've joined this challenge before, right? And when you joined it, they just gave you high-level information, very general information that you can probably implement later. We don't do that in a challenge, because we believe in you getting results in 5 days or less. So we show you how to implement in the challenge. And then after you implement, we audit your content for you so that you know how to pivot the next day. That's the goal. That's the only reason why my clients were able to get such great results. And I brag about them all the time, because this is not your typical challenge where we just tell you what to do. No, we show you and we walk you through it. And then we audit it and show you how to pivot. That's the goal. All right. All right. So we're talking about how to get clients from your content, even with 300 followers, right? I gave you 2 tips so far. The first tip was for you to shift your mindset about your audience size. You don't need thousands of followers to sell. You can start selling right now, as long as you are attracting the right people to sell to. The second tip was content is currency. Every post is either an expense or an investment. An expense because it's costing you time and energy, an investment because it's bringing in leads and clients. That was the second tip. Now, if you are just now joining us on this live and you're like, oh my goodness, I missed everything else, you can always catch the replay for all of my live videos. All my master classes are living on YouTube. So you can follow me on YouTube at Book of Star. When you get to YouTube, select the live tab, and then go ahead and you can binge any of those live videos. They're all there for you. They're all master classes, and they're master classes on purpose, because I don't teach fluff. I teach you exactly what's going to help you get the results. All right. Third and final tip, always lead with a clear next step. Always lead to a clear next step. That is the third and final tip, right? So content that inspires without a call to action leaves money on the table. I shared this yesterday. I said, for those of you who are educating your audience, you are entertaining your audience, you're encouraging them. If you don't do this next step by enrolling them into your offer, inviting them to buy from you, all you're doing is warming your audience up to go buy from someone else. Have you ever seen someone where they're following you, they're commenting on every post, and they never buy, and you get so frustrated? because you're thinking, oh my goodness, this person, they just want to take from me. But then you find out that they ended up buying from someone else. You know why? That person invited them to buy and you did not. So you want to make sure that in your content, you are always giving a clear next step. And this is what we call to actions. Your call to actions should be leading your audience to take the next step. But here's the most important thing about call to actions, because some of you hear this all the time. You hear you got to post call to actions. So you do that. You tell people to like, comment, follow, share, save. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's too many steps. That is too many steps. That's why they're getting lost. They don't know if they should like, comment, follow, share, or save. I want you to think about this. Y'all remember Simon Says? When we were kids, we would play the game Simon Says. Simon Says, put your hand on your head. Who is Simon anyway? Why are we listening to Simon? Anyway, not the point. Simon Says, put your hand on your shoulders, right? And if you didn't do what Simon says, you would, well, if Simon didn't say it and you did it, you were out, right? But I want you to think about that game. Not once did they give you too many steps. It was always one step. Simon Says, put your hand on your head. Simon Says, put your hand on your shoulder. One step so you can follow it. Do that with your call to actions. Star says, comment, challenge accepted if you want to get access to this challenge. Dowena says, comment money if you want to learn how to build money for your teenagers, right? Like that's all you have to do. One call to action so that your audience could actually follow it, right? Now, here's the most important thing. You want to put out call to actions that actually convert. Some of you are just putting out call to actions. That's why you're not seeing results. But you want to put out call to actions that convert, and you want to be able to track when it does convert. So Marianne, one of my former clients, she's in her 60s and she helps people near to retirement age retire with money in their bank account. When she put out her video, she gave them a clear call to action. She said, comment this specific word if you want to get access. Do you know what happened after that? Sis went viral and got 60,000 leads. 60,000 leads. My question to you is, if we helped you get 60,000 leads, will it build your business or break it? For Marianne, it built it. And for her, she's still thriving on today. That was a year ago. She's still thriving on today. But she gave them a clear next step. And so if you were to see that viral video, you'll see the word that everyone just comments. Right? So give a clear next step. Now, I have heard, and I don't know how true this is, but I have heard on LinkedIn that if you do that, they will suppress your content. I don't know how true it is. I have been testing it on my content, right? But I haven't seen a shift. So if you're using this strategy on LinkedIn, you don't have to tell them to comment. You can tell them to DM the word, right? So that's just a tip for LinkedIn, because on Instagram and TikTok, you can tell people to comment till they're blue in the face and you'll be fine. On YouTube, you can still tell people to comment. It's a little bit more difficult though, because there's no DMs on YouTube. But at least if they're commenting, you'll know who's actually interested, right? Okay, so that was Marianne. Lori also tried this strategy, right? Now, Lori, she's a fitness entrepreneur. She started her business because her father passed away untimely due to health issues. She was headed down the same track until she realized, I don't gotta live this life. So she decided to turn her life around. And in turning her life around, she decided, I'm going to help others turn their life around too. Only problem is when she was showing up on social media, ain't nobody was checking for her. So she joined the challenge and we showed her how to use this strategy, how she can generate leads from her videos. She implemented using a clear call to action. She came back, she said, Star, oh my goodness, Star, I did exactly what she told me to do. I said exactly what she told me to say in my videos. And she got 3 leads, from 0 leads to 3 leads. Now, why is this working? Is it working because it's magic? Is it working because I paid their audience to start engaging with them? No, it's working because this is the formula for sales in your content, and it will always work, and it will work years from now. But you got to decide, I'm ready. I'm ready. Why? Because your audience is ready. Imagine Lori had been on TikTok for a couple of months, probably even a year, posting content that people weren't buying from. And as soon as we told her what to say, 3 leads, just like that. So that means there are people in your audience ready to buy from you, but they're not because you're not saying the thing that gets them to buy. And I want you to think about, what is that costing you? What is that costing you? If you decided that I want to build my 6-figure business this year, but you're not saying the thing that gets your audience to buy, you're losing out on building a 6-figure business. That's the cost. For some of you, you want to make a bigger impact. You want to be on bigger stages. You want to be on high-profile podcasts. However, if you aren't saying the thing that gets your people to buy, you're losing out on that impact. What is the cost that what is it costing you every time your audience don't buy from you? What is it costing you every time your audience do not see you on social media? Could you really make that impact? Can you really build that wealth? Think about it. In 2021, I made $21,000 for the year. Actually, I should say in a couple of months, because I really started in August. So from August to December, I made $21,000. This is my first time making sales in my business. That was 2021. Oh, excuse me. That was 2022. My bad. I was like, I got my years off. In 2022, for the entire year, I made $21,000 in my business. In 2023, I made $117,000 in my business. That is a significant jump. My accountant at the time was so surprised. He didn't believe me. He's like, how'd you go from $21,000 to $117,000? It ain't magic. It's just video formulas and God, of course, right? But here's the thing. If I decided not to show up in 2023, I would have been leaving nearly $100,000 on the table. That would have been the cost of me not showing up and selling. There are some of you where you should have already hit 6 figures in your business. There are some of you where you should have already hit 30K months. And the only reason why you haven't yet is because your audience hasn't found you. And I want to know from you, are you okay with paying that cost? If you are not, DM me challenge accepted. Join us in the AI Content to Cash Challenge so we can help you. I'm displaying the website on the screen again for those of you who are watching on YouTube so that you can get access. Again, the first 5 people to sign up for VIP will get access to the AI Content Generator Pro, where we generate the content ideas for you. We write your video scripts, your captions, your hooks, and your headlines. So we do all the heavy lifting for you in the Content Generator Pro. First 5 people to sign up for VIP gets access to it. Now, let's say that you don't want VIP, because VIP is nice, it's cute, but you rather value exclusivity. You don't just want to be in the room. You want one-on-one attention with me as your coach. That's the Diamond Experience. And as a Diamond Experience member, what we give you is a complimentary elite content strategy session with me. In this session, Keith and Vanessa, when they joined us a couple of months ago, for this session, they got so clear on their messaging that they are generating leads when they post, when they walk into rooms, when they're talking. When Shanita joined this session, she was able to transform her business in just 30 minutes. I don't need 3 months with you. I just need 30 minutes. And you will have your entire messaging so clear that it can start converting for you tomorrow. That's a possibility. But you have to decide, I'm ready, and I'm ready now. If you are still thinking to yourself and wavering in your seat, should I join? I'm not really sure if this is for me. Then maybe it's not. But if you are ready now and you can see so clearly what your next level is, you're at 10K months, you want to get to 30K months, this challenge is for you. You're at 20K months, you want to get to 50K months, this challenge is for you. You are at 50K months and you want to increase your visibility, you want to grow your following to 100,000 followers, then this challenge is for you. Right? All right. Hey, Calvin, how you doing? Calvin says, show up. Some people are shy because they are looking for the deal. I take it as meaning they aren't ready. Exactly. Yep. Okay. So who this challenge is for? The challenge is for the coach where you're already at 6 figures. You already have an audience, but you're not really sure what to say in your videos to get your audience to buy from you. When Kelly joined us in the challenge, she already had 30,000 followers on Instagram. We showed her what to say to get her audience to buy. She got 6 clients in 1 month. That could happen for you. The challenge is also for the business owner where you're capped between 8 to 10K months. You're hesitating to sell in your videos because you feel like you're going to offend people when you do. You're afraid of sounding salesy. Well, we've helped so many people accomplish this, right? Elena, when she joined us, she had 106,000 followers, but she was afraid to sell. We helped her to overcome that fear. And what happened? She got 75 sales from her first launch and 50 new customers from her second. And the challenge is also for the successful coach or service provider where your sales isn't an issue. You get sales coming in left and right, left and right. What your issue is, you feel invisible online and you're ready to increase your visibility using social media. You're ready to make a larger impact, bigger than your local community, bigger than your inner circle, bigger than word of mouth. We show you how to do that in the challenge so you can join us. Again, we have 2 levels, VIP and the Diamond Experience. We're kicking off October 6th. Now, there's some of you where you might want to wait. You're considering joining, but you're like, I'm going to wait and join close the week before the challenge. However, we do have bonuses that you can get access to now. So we're not the type of coaching program where you join and then you don't hear from us for 30 days. No. You join, you get access to our VIP membership vault where there are master classes and content strategies that you can implement today. One of our content strategies is 5 ways to 5K on social media. And many people have watched this masterclass and already got them generating more ideas on how they can make money on their social media. So again, we are an action-oriented coaching program. We do not just give you the strategies and the tips. We show you how to implement and we get you started today. All right, Calvin says, what is your one-on-one? So our one-on-one for our Diamond Experience members are for the coaches and business owners where you don't just want to be in the room. You value exclusivity. You want one-on-one attention, and it is a 30-minute complimentary session. In this session, I show you how to speak the language of your dream clients. What does that do for you? When you're showing up on camera now, you're no longer stumbling over your words. You're no longer struggling with getting all your information out of your head and into a 1-minute video because I show you what to say. I show you how to create the content that's actually going to attract your audience. And in doing that, you can increase your engagement. So if you're getting engagement just from your family and friends, you'll start getting engagement from strangers. You will be able to increase your sales. So right now, if you're getting sales through word of mouth and referrals, you'll actually get sales from your social media. Since I have been doing this, I have monetized every single one of my platforms, and I had not intended on it. Through Instagram and TikTok alone, I have made 6 figures from those platforms. On LinkedIn, I've made more than $10,000. 5 figures, more than $10,000 on LinkedIn. YouTube, still new for me, but we've made $600 from YouTube. So it doesn't matter what platform you are on, we show you how to monetize it. Why? Because when it comes to marketing and selling, no matter what platform you are on, once you have these video formulas, you'll be able to do it. So if you're like, I want the Diamond Experience, right? I don't just want to be in VIP. I want special attention. I want special treatment. That's what the Diamond Experience is for. I'll go ahead and I'm dropping the website in YouTube right now so you can get access. If you are watching on Instagram, TikTok, or LinkedIn, when you DM me challenge accepted, just type Diamond in there and I'll send you the invite to the Diamond Experience. Again, it's only for the business owners, coaches, and entrepreneurs where you value exclusivity. You want special treatment, special attention. You want one-on-one attention, and you value that elite status. That's what our Diamond is for. VIP is our biggest seller. It is our most popular. And then there are some of you where you're like, I am not regular. I don't want to be part of average. I want to stand out. I want my own session. That's the Diamond Experience for you. All right. Thank you all so much for joining me. Today, we talked about how to get clients from your content, even with 300 followers. I walked you through 3 tips. 1, shift your mindset about your audience size. You don't need lots of followers in order for you to sell. You can sell with less than 1,000. Two, content is currency. Every post is either an expense where it's costing you time and energy, or it's an investment where where you're bringing in clients and leads. And then number three, always lead to a clear next step. Give a call to action that's actually going to convert for you so you can see those sales coming in. All right, so I'll be back again next Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern, or maybe next Wednesday. I'm actually shifting my live strategy and my live show ups, right? So live sessions. I'm like, what is it called? My live sessions. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to be live on Tuesday, but if you need access to any of the replays, you can feel free to follow me on YouTube at Book of Star. Select my live tab. You'll see all my masterclasses there. Y'all have a great day.